G'day everyone, Gooby here with another Torchlight Infinite Season SS7 video. Unfortunately, I am at the last phase of the path of progression for this section, and it says perform the darkest corrosion on one piece of ultimate legendary gear. Now, this is for 1% drop quantity, so I kind of have to do it. I don't have a choice. The game is twisting my arm. My current DPS is really low for some reason. 200, 250 it gets up to. So if you haven't noticed, I do have a whole bunch more focus blessing stacks. Some of my Corino 2 gear sold overnight. I've cleared out that character. I sold a wind rhythm and stuff in the last video, I'm pretty sure. I did buy a couple of rings. So I bought this ring for 600 FE, just the base, and then it cost me about 4,000 FE to craft this up. Now it's plus 3 focus blessing stacks and 13 command, which is really quite nice. I also bought this one for 1200 with the elemental destruction curse. I actually got a pretty funny corruption, which is this one. So it hit elemental destruction again. I'd actually hit max focus blessing prior to that, but it was minus sealed mana conversion. So I needed to re-roll it again for a better downside. So skill effect duration is better than the other one. I haven't managed to hit the T1s for that, which is a shame. Unlike this one, which has which hit everything pretty easily. Got super lucky with this one. I'll probably double corrode this at the end of the season, and I'll lose the plus 2 focus blessing stacks up here, and that'll brick. But that's not for right now. That's for later on. The weapon that I have, I can't remember if I had this in the last video, but that didn't cost too much to craft up. I think I bought the base, which was the affixes here. Maybe not this one. I think I put this on actually. So it was just the max focus blessing, and it was a Spirit Magus wand that I converted into one that suited me. It already had the minion skill level and the chance of minions to deal double damage. So that was quite a nice upgrade as well. I've still got one weapon that needs to be upgraded, my boots that are about to be upgraded, and my gloves. I did notice one problem with the build that I was following is in here he was using precise restraint on everything, and I just simply don't have that much FE, so I have to go with a crap aura so I can use the Lone Walker boots. And also I was able to switch out elemental destruction for Blizzard because I now have the ring, and Blizzard triggers elemental destruction. The reason we're using Blizzard is overload. So the effect of overload supports skill spells plus 3.26% additional damage for the supported skill for every stack of focus blessing. And actually that part doesn't really matter. The debuff, so for every up to 8 times, inflicts a debuff to enemies when the supported skill hits them, granting them 100% debuff effect per stack. The debuff is minus 2% additional movement, attack, and cast speed dealt. I thought they took additional damage from it, but it's only additional damage for the Blizzard. Is it? Ah, it's the Blizzard that does the debuff. So the Blizzard, the skill inflicts a debuff on hit plus 10% additional cold damage taken for 6 seconds, and Machine Lord is converting some physical damage to cold, lightning, and fire. So that is a portion of that. Overload just amplifies that, so it's plus 100% debuff effect per stack of Focus Blessing. We have 11 Focus Blessing stacks, so that is 1100% debuff effect. So that is quite nice for extra cold damage. Eventually I'll replace that with something better. It doesn't always, it's not always up, so that's a downside. And when I get my damage up, I'll replace Dark Gate with Forced Start. So I'm just running Swiftness so I can zip around. This is about to change because as you saw in my inventory, I managed to pick up a Lone Walker's Boots for 6,000 Flame Elementium, which is quite nice. And now because of that path of progression, I need to use this Familiar Nexus, and hopefully the worst case scenario, it doesn't re-roll the let's just double check if this has a chance of re-rolling. So that's fine. It doesn't look like it can re-roll the precise projectiles into something else. If it can, that would be the absolute worst case scenario here, and that would be horrendous. However, we have to do this because I really don't want to do this, but we've done it. Oh, good. Nothing really changed. Nothing changed at all, actually. So that's fine. We got our 1% drop rate, drop quant. I still need a good soul candle, but as far as corrosions go, that's not a bad one. It didn't really affect it at all. So our damage was at around what was it? So I'm going from a level 25 Precise Fearless to a level 20. Actually, it was Precise Projectiles, wasn't it? Yeah. So the Fearless was more expensive. So again, going from a level 25 to probably Energy Fortress. Yeah, we'll do that. So this should give us more damage. I still have a number of upgrades to go. 3,000 energy shield. Did my boots give me a ton? 3,600. 4,800, wow. My boots apparently gave me a heap of energy shield, which I just lost. But I gained a bunch of aura effect and stuff. Maybe I just need to reset the zone. Might help to look at the supports when you're inputting these. So if you put energy shield into selfless, that's pretty pointless. So I bunched there, and I noticed that the skill points have changed slightly between the starter build and the current build. Link will be in the spreadsheet as per usual. And I should do another map to reset this, shouldn't I? Yeah. I was definitely doing more damage before. I guess I'm tankier now, which is the trade-off. So a little bit less damage. So not exactly ideal, but I didn't get one shot in that map, so I guess that's a bonus. Notable upgrades to come next. Far better gloves. better wand, and then a really noticeable one will be when I get 4 of these. They're actually really cheap. Guess that's my next upgrade. Righty, a little bit of a break between a couple of seconds ago and now. After I hit my Lone Walker boots and a couple of other upgrades, I was still super squishy, and I had a little bit of a rage quit, realizing that this build costs so much more than Carino 2. But with the patch that just came out, the cost of crafting stuff just went down. So if you're unaware, in the announcements, they fixed an issue with, a trait. They nerfed enemies in stages 5, 6, and 7 of the city defense, and also increased the drop rate of sacred fossils, transcendence wedges, and corner of divinities. So you'll be able to get better corners for cheaper, and also significantly increase the probability of a destiny dropping in Rainbow Chest of Destinies. So it is reported that stacks of 12 sacred fossils are dropping, and more transcendence wedges are dropping. What does that mean for the trade house? So sacred fossils are already down to 43, so they have halved in price, and the transcendence wedges have gone from 43 to 32, so they've come down about 25% in price as well, and that was only overnight. So there has been a pretty reasonable dip there. I also was unable to, with my other gloves, so these ones, I was unable to use any of the good aura supports on my auras, because I didn't have the precise restraint. So I'm hoping, I haven't tested it yet, I'm hoping that with 8% sealed mana compensation on the gloves, I will be able to put on some better auras. So on, Energy Fortress and stuff, I had to use cooldown reduction because it is a 110% mana cost multiplier, and with Off the Beaten Track that reduces the amount that is reserved, which is backwards, but that is how it works. So I couldn't use any of the precise safety in numbers. So now that I have that extra 8%, I potentially still can't do it because that looks like I've reserved 100% of my mana. So that's a shame. Let's just... Well, I can still dash. It says I have 0 mana, but dashing doesn't cost any mana for some reason. Let's load a map and see if that is still true. So maybe that gives me 1 ability, basically. And with the gloves, I have gone away from... this one had attack speed, skill area, and erosion res to make sure I am almost res capped. I've just gone lightning, erosion, and fire. If I get the better auras on elemental res aura, then I'll be able to change out these at a later date for some more damage. But for now, I can still dash around, which is good. So that's at least 1 aura better. So I've got a bit more tank, which is one of the major things that annoyed me with this build. It is currently about 2 times the budget of my Carino 2. Carino 2 was doing 5 trillion DPS with half as much FE investment, which is pretty demoralizing. I can see why people like No Name chose not to play Carino 2, because Once you achieve 5 trillion DPS with Corino 2 on such a small budget comparatively to, you know, other classes that need to get insane gear in order to compete, you know, it's pretty hard to invest 20 or 30,000 flame elementium into a build to just see that it's still not as good as Corino. Like, I'm not even close to Corino. I'll show you my damage in a second, but with about 10 or 15,000 FE, I guess, you can achieve 5 trillion DPS with Corino 2, and I am well and truly over 20,000 flame elementium for this character, and oh, excuse me, and I'm like on Corino 2, I'd be at 5 trillion already. So this is you know, about 50 times less damage than Corino 2 that requires less of a budget. But as you can see, I'm about 400 billion once it builds up, which is not good. But I will persevere, and the cost of the fossils has gone down. So it is going to cost less to get more tank with this, which is great. So let's buy some now. Trade is still getting absolutely slammed. But I guess that's bound to happen with such a significant, you know, change. It would have reignited some people's desire to play the game and upgrade their gear. So it is fully expected. So that's an ultimate. It's only 5% additional minion damage. I'm not going to do it. This is good though. 8%, one tap. Bah! Rip. Anyway, I really need this anyway. So I will go for energy shield. There we go. One tap that. More energy shield be nice. Ooh, didn't. Ooh, third time lucky. Ah, there we go. So that gives me a whole bunch extra tank, which is fantastic. And it wasn't that expensive to do. Still a decent roll, still a decent roll. And those are pretty good as well. So I do need a second weapon that is similar to this one. Probably just with command instead of max focus blessing stacks. I still need a perpetual motion or something for Blizzard. Having a preparation on Blizzard, it hardly ever casts. Like, that's casting every 5 seconds, which is pretty bad. I could just switch it out for this one, maybe. At least that's, you know, more often. It's still not the best, but it's not, you know, 5 seconds, I guess. I could probably do with a perpetual motion on both of these, but that's got to be pretty pricey. Let's have a quick look. 800. It's doable. I would want CDR on there as well. Not so doable, but something to get later on. Anywho, I only just logged on for the night, so I actually got a minion out of that. That's pretty rare. I'm gonna play a little bit more. I'll try and upgrade this to all tier 1 fire res. It was just going on and on and on before. Yeah, I can do that with you, Ruby. So I have 600 FE left. I may as well buy some more fossils and try and up these to just fully cap my res, as I am still a little bit off. Not too much, but with tier 0s that'll be much easier. then I won't have to really worry about the other ring. Doesn't look like I have any res really anywhere else. So the gloves will be the source of all of my additional res. I have a little bit on the belt, but it looks like, oh, that's got 11% actually. And that is giving me a bunch. So you don't really need much if you are using the chest. If I had a double corrupted one here, they are about 3,000 or 4,000 flame elementium though for all stats, and 1% elemental res per 40 stats. If I had that, then there would be less requirement on the gloves. I guess that's why the other version of this build that has boots with 100% erosion damage taken as lightning damage or cold damage or something, and then you can have deflection and that sort of stuff on there too, which is extremely strong. But once I get precise what is it? My brain is fried after work. Precise restraint will make this a lot better. It just costs an absolute mozza. So I should get precise elemental res and precise energy shield as well, actually. I don't think that's too pricey. 20 FE for a precise energy fortress. 300 for a level 21. Let's just be cheap. We can always upgrade that later. Oh, there's a 20 there. We'll go with that one. And what was the other one we need? Elemental. Element. Precise Ellie res is worthless as well. Cool. So that's pretty good. I probably could have checked to see the price of the other one, but this is giving me 343 and 14.5, and this is giving me more additional, and the max energy shield will build up for sure. 12 and 10 and 14 and 10. So less elemental damage taken. Again, that will level up a little bit as well. So anywho, this build is coming along. I do have some obvious upgrades, being a fast activation here, a fast activation there, and a fast activation here. Although this is a buff, so it doesn't really matter too much, as every 4 seconds should keep that up 100% of the time. And yeah, so that's all I've got for this video. The next video will be when the character is pretty much done, which will be another 40 to 60,000 flame elementium. Hopefully I don't burn myself out before getting there. This has been interesting, but just know that this costs a lot more to do than pretty much any other build. There is 2 different builds. So on the builds here, 5T Moto Boom is the other way of doing this build. This uses, as you can see, a 2-handed cannon with isomorphic. So it uses parabolic projectile split quantity. That is the splits that your spider egg is doing. So it is an additional 2. And with isomorphic, all of these are applied to your minion. So extra physical damage, elemental damage, attack crit strike rating, elemental and erosion resistance pen, physical. So this is just a really insane way of boosting your minions. And then since you're not relying on auras so much, you can go a far more defensive pair of boots. With the erosion damage taken as lightning damage. Deflection is also fantastic because it gives you a 10% chance for every stack of reflection. Reduces additional damage taken by 10%. For every stack of deflection, up to 3 stacks. When you're hit, it consumes all the stacks. So if you're not hit every 18 meters, that gives you a 30% damage reduction per hit, which is pretty huge. And then, yeah, still Focus Blessing stacking. And it is also... It's mega expensive still, but it's a little bit different. I wonder if that would be better than the Void Embankment, but then you are losing 360 stats towards... I mean, you got the Aura Effect, Sealed Mana Compensation. Maybe worth trying if we can get... Maybe not with max elemental res. That's pretty insane. What if I untick that? It's still insanely expensive. Yeah. That's a spicier meatball. But anyway, if you can farm deep space, you can go for that. I'll stop waffling, and if you want to check this build out, it is by SS7 Neon. Neon is the one that pushed Boom Moto pretty far last season and has done the same again this season. Anywho, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching, and I will see you... Oh, this is the one that I'm following, actually. So they're both on pro builds. One is by Boom 7676, which is Showdown 20 and 21. And the other one is 5T Moto Boom. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.